Hi and good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Supergrads. My name is Abhyansh and I am here with the second live session of this series. The first session was about double fillers. Today we are discussing triple fillers, students, and trust me, the number of blanks as they increase, it is in your favor. Jitne bhi, if you see triple fillers, four fillers, these are relatively easier to answer in comparison with double fillers and single fillers. So I'm sure you'll enjoy each and everything that I'll tell you today, and I'll of course tell you the tips and tricks of how to approach such questions. We are following the same agenda, guys. We have 20 questions today. We have 20 questions, and that's how we'll go about it. So seems like everyone is ready. Seems like the sound quality and video quality is perfect. And if they are, it's time we begin with the first question. So here are the instructions, but आप instruction नहीं भी पढ़ोगे, I'll tell you. And like we had a discussion around the type of words that we have in such questions, the vocabulary part or the difficulty level of the words is not that tough. The problem that every student faces is about the word usage. तो usage पर ध्यान देना है, and when you have triple fillers, तो आप कोई भी एक फिलर आइडेंटिफाई कर लो, that works in your favor. उसके अलावा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. I'll now move out of the frame. I'll give you guys a minute to see this and to be ready with your answers in the chat section. First question, students. The scholar argued that any evaluation of ancient text must remain dash in method, sufficiently dash in interpretation, and and intellectually dash in acknowledging gaps in historical evidence. Now this has to be a careful evaluation, right? There has to be a careful evaluation. So क्या आपको words, are there any of the words that you see and decide कि सर हाँ ये हो सकता है, ये नहीं हो सकता, these are the options that I wish to eliminate? Are there any such words, students? So if there's any historical evaluation of things, students, the scholar argued that any evaluation of ancient texts, so it cannot be rigid. When you say it is rigid, when you say it's rigid, so it expresses the bias as well. So rigid nahi ho sakta. Methodical, I think, would be the correct word. Improvised is exaggerated. So when you're trying to evaluate ancient texts, I don't think there's room for exaggeration, so you can eliminate this one. And erratic is irregular. Erratic is irregular. Something that is random. So random evaluation also would make sense. There has to be a proper method that you need to follow. So the first filler should be methodical and cautious, sufficiently cautious in interpretation, and intellectually humble in acknowledging or addressing the gaps in historical evidence. Correct word B hai, and correct combination is given in option B. And what was my reason of choosing it? It was quite simple. पहला फिलर मैं आइडेंटिफाई कर पाया, and that helped me answer this question. बस इस क्वेश्चन में इतना ही सीखना था, इतना ही बताना था. We are done with the first question, students. Let's move to the next one. Let's see if you can crack this question. Her political commentary is admired because it remains dash in tone analytically, dash in structure, something that is being admired. So you need some positive words, you need ideal words. If you're admiring something, तो क्या words होने चाहिए? अगर आप ये identify कर लोगे, I'm pretty sure that will help you. Hi Manthan, I hope you're doing well, and you promised कि आज आप session attend करेंगे. That's good to see. Here's your question, students. Here's your question number 2. Here's the next question, students. So, political commentary is admired because it remains dash in tone. So the tone has to be somewhat neutral in sense. अगर tone बहुत ज़्यादा extreme हो जाएगा, so I don't think that there would be people who would admire that and there would be others who would despise that. So the tone has to be a little balanced. ऐसा word मुझे कहाँ दिख रहा है? I think that should be measured. Inflammatory is one of the extremes. Euphoric is again very joyful, so that would again be something that I say very extreme. And abrasive is also very rough tone. So measured in tone, coherent in structure, and incisive when it comes to criticizing something. The words have to be incisive. The words have to be harsh or bitter. So that was your question. That was your answer. And vocabulary wise अगर आप इस fillers वाले exercise को देखोगे तो it's not a challenge of vocabulary, but it's a challenge of knowing where to use which word. So word usage is something which is super important. So B has to be the correct answer for the second question, students. Let's quickly move now to the next one. And here's the next question. The proposal was rejected. Now it was rejected, so there must be some flaw in it, there must be some problem in it. इतना पढ़ के मुझे ये समझ आ रहा है कि यार पहला फिलर में एक नेगेटिव वर्ड होना चाहिए. Where do you see that? The proposal was rejected because its economic forecasts were dash in foundation, excessively dash in modeling, and ultimately dash in practical feasibility. So if you look at the options, empirical क्या होता है? Empirical is something which is proven, which is formula driven. अगर ये proposal formula driven होता तो it would not have been rejected. Had it been verified, it would not have been rejected. Had it been grounded, in that case as well, it would not have been rejected. So it is speculative. It's a bit doubtful कि यार ये proposal या ये हमें accept करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. So speculative. Convoluted is twisted, complicated. Convoluted is twisted, complex, complicated. So that answers your question, students. A must be the correct answer. A में ही वो सही pair, वो सही sequence of words हमें दिख रहा है. That was question number 3. I hope question number 3 तक कोई problem नहीं है, and you people now feel confident when it comes to triple fillers. Yes, the agenda, the motive of the series is quite simple. As I said, double filler, triple filler, और भी हम जितने topics अभी करने वाले in the upcoming days. All I want कि आप analyze करो कि यार where do I stand at this halfway mark of your preparation? Where do I stand? ठीक है. Here is your next question. The biologist emphasized that ecosystem health depends on processes that are dash in function, intricately dash in structure, and inherently dash to external disturbances. What do you think should be the correct option in question number 4? Now, the biologists emphasize that ecosystem health depends on processes that are dash in function. So even when you talk about कि environment को हम कैसे protect कर सकते हैं, so the processes, it cannot be a one way process कि बस government ने कुछ infrastructure improve करने के लिए कर दिया. It doesn't work like that. There has to be efforts from all the sections of the society, efforts from the local villages as well. ऐसा कुछ, ठीक है. So ये एक general rule आप याद रख सकते हो कि when we talk about protecting the environment, there has to be an integration of things. There has to be multiple approaches to it. There cannot be one rule or one formula. So Integrated would be correct. Fragmented is distributed. Sporadic is again something which is irregular. Discordant means there's no communication. There's no communication between the different type of proposals or different type of ways that we follow. So it has to be integrated and it has to be intricately layered and inherently vulnerable to external disturbances. So B must be the correct answer here for question number 4, students. Let's move to question number 5. Let's try and answer question number 5, students. Question 5. Question 5. The memoir captivates because it is dash in emotional depth. So it is very, I think it must connect with the emotional depth of things. So काफी ज़्यादा touchy, काफी ज़्यादा poignant ऐसा कुछ word होना चाहिए. Elegantly dash in narrative and surprisingly dash in self-reflection. So if you look at this, the best thing here is the third filler. The third filler here is quite conclusive. Self-reflection. Self-reflection के लिए क्या word होता है? What is that self-talk that we have with ourselves? It is introspection. It is introspection. So introspective and of course resonant in the first one. ये दोनों काफी ज़्यादा decisive fillers थे. When I say decisive fillers, मतलब इंट्रोस्पेक्टिव जैसा कोई सिमिलर वर्ड आपको किसी ऑप्शन में नहीं दिख रहा होगा. So that for that reason, B should be the correct answer to this question, students. ठीक है ना? बात समझ में आई? शिवेन, मंथन and all those who are here, all those who have joined late. डबल फिलर्स को क्रैक करने का यही सबसे बढ़िया तरीका है. Let's move to the next question. Next question, students. The court dismissed his testimony because it was dash in credibility. Credibility is believability. So word कैसा चाहिए यार? कोर्ट ने अगर किसी की टेस्टिमनी को डिसमिस कर दिया, that means कोर्ट को उसकी टेस्टिमनी पर भरोसा नहीं. If it's impeccable, impeccable is something that is flawless, without any mistakes. Authoritative is also that commanding वाला thing. Verified होता तो कोर्ट डिसमिस नहीं करता. So it was doubtful, it was dubious. I think in this question आपको और कोई फिलर नहीं भी आप देखते हो. अगर आप फर्स्ट फिलर भी ढंग से समझ जाते हो, that will help you answer this question. And B is correct here. B is correct for question number 6. ठीक है? So I think Shivain has answered for this question. So has Manthan. ठीक है? Correct answers, guys, for this one. Let's move to the next question quickly. Next question, students. So dubious, dubious, doubtful, Shivain, that is the kind of word that was required here. अगर कोर्ट ने डिसमिस कर दिया है, so that means कोर्ट को भरोसा नहीं है. सिर्फ ऐसे आप आइडेंटिफाई करोगे, and I think that is something that will help you in your mocks and in the actual exam that you will appear for next year. So the negotiation succeeded because both parties adopted a posture that was dash. Now the negotiation, of course, takes place between two parties and it succeeded. It succeeded for the sole reason कि यार दोनों part A, part B, team A, team B, they succeeded in in adopting in reaching a compromise. उनको समझ आ गया कि यार कुछ बात हमें मानना पड़ेगा, कुछ बात इधर से मानेंगे, and things will work. So conciliatory would be the correct word. Hostile is again not friendly. Adamant is someone who's stubborn. So if the two parties had been stubborn, तो उनके बीच negotiation succeed नहीं करता. So conciliatory, strategically calibrated, that is calculated, and tactfully diplomatic in presentation as well. So B must be the correct choice of words that we need in question number 7, students. Yes guys, B is correct here. ठीक है, next question देखते हैं. Question number 8, students. Question number 8 guys. Question number 8. क्या बोलते हो, क्या लगता है question number 8 में क्या करना चाहिए? So Shivain has answered and he believes that B must be correct. Let's see क्या reason हो सकता है. Manthan has also answered. The reform movement gained momentum by promoting solutions that were reform movement लिखा हुआ. So reform में क्या होता है? वर्ड्स बहुत हेल्प करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, और कुछ भी हेल्प नहीं करता. वर्ड्स बहुत हेल्प करते हैं. When we say we are bringing some reforms, we want something new to happen. So we are not going to have archaic or regressive or derivative solutions. We'll have solutions that are innovative, socially inclusive, because of course what the agenda is, and politically palatable. So B again, how many questions have we seen so far jinka answer B? So Sia, Manthan, Shivain, correct answers, students. That was question number 8. Let's quickly move now to question number 9, guys. Question 9. Question number 9. The historian's thesis collapses. Now the thesis collapses, it becomes weak. तो क्या reason हो सकता है इसका? Because it's rest on evidence that is dash in origin. So मतलब evidence, again, something that we cannot trust, something that is doubtful, something that is unclear. ऐसा कोई word मुझे ढूंढना था इस question में. So evidence, had it been transparent, has it been authenticated, तो ये collapse नहीं करता. It collapsed because it was obscure, curated and biased. Again, students, I wonder what is wrong with all the questions की लगभग सारे questions का answer B हो रहा है. And that is how you would answer this. Triple fillers, IPMAT Indore में there are around 4 questions of triple fillers. And trust me, this is one of those topics that you must approach with such confidence कि यार हाँ, triple fillers के, double fillers के question तो मेरे गलत नहीं होंगे. That is how you should practice. So that was your question 9, students. Let's quickly now move to question number 10, students. Question number 10. If you look at this question, students, सिर्फ ये वाला जो पार्ट लिखा है ना, that will help you. सिर्फ ये वाला पार्ट अगर आप समझ लोगे तो I don't think there's anything that can stop you from answering this question. The third filler here is super important. Utterly dash in long term. So startup faltered, startup नहीं चला. So that means long term vision उसके पास नहीं था. Long term vision नहीं था मतलब क्या हुआ? That it was myopic. Myopic is short sighted. Myopic is short-sighted. So irrespective of whether you understood, whether you got to know कि first में क्या आएगा, second में क्या आएगा, उसको छोड़ देते. तुमसे third पे अगर भी focus करते, that would have helped you get to the correct answer. That would have helped you fetch 4 good marks. That was question number 10, students. Let's move to 11, the second part of today's session. Question number 11. Now, for the scientific debate to thrive, that means to prosper, okay, participants must be dash in critique. Now, if you want a debate to go long, if you want a debate to prosper, so the candidates or the participants must be open to all sorts of discussion. So, agar dogma is biasness, indifferent is having no feeling, impulsive again is biasness, correct combination should be constructive. Participants must be intellectually constructive. अच्छा भी सोचना है, अगर कोई opposing views भी बोल रहा है, so you should be open to it. Again, ये open minded आपको last में दिख रहा होगा, consistently open minded in their engagement with opposing views. So once again, out of the many questions that we have done today, B here is the correct answer, students, for question number 11. Let's quickly jump to question 12 now. The art documentary succeeds. अब आप सिर्फ इन वर्ड्स पे फोकस करो कि what has happened, has some project, some proposal, some exhibition, has it succeeded, has it failed, has it been a little boring and drab. So आपको वहां से बहुत कुछ समझ आता है. That documentary succeeded because it is visually good. अगर आप कुछ नहीं समझते तो आप ये बोल सकते हो कि it succeeded because people loved it, right? So drab is boring, flat is boring, chaotic is boring, arresting is the word that we need here, very exciting. So it succeeds because it is visually arresting, narratively cohesive, and unflinching in exposing systematic inequality. Unflinching is relentless. Unflinching, students, is relentless. So that was the correct answer to this question. Let's move to the next one now. Here is the next question. Her research approach is admired. Now they say it's admired. ये words बड़े important होते हैं. If you don't trust me, just go back and see the previous year papers. You'll realize कि हाँ सर, बात तो आप सही बोल रहे थे. ठीक है? So just look at the PYPs. PYPs आप देखने जाओगे, that would be a big help. Her research approach is admired for being theoretically dash, empirically dash, and methodologically dash. So theoretically robust would be correct because ornamental नहीं हो सकता. It cannot be decorative. Robust is very strong. Naive and hollow is lacking substance. Naive is like a youngster. So अगर कोई रिसर्च कर रहा है, so you don't expect कि वो नाइव होगा. Robust is strong, strong and compact. So again, option B is the correct answer to this question, students. Next question पे आते हैं, that is question number 14, guys. The crisis deepened because the government's response was dash. So the crisis has deepened. नेगेटिव वर्ड, कुछ ऐसा वर्ड चाहिए, नेगेटिव वर्ड चाहिए, सिर्फ वर्ड्स देखने जाओ. आई एम श्योर यू पीपल नो द मीनिंग ऑफ ऑल दीज वर्ड्स. इट्स नॉट एन इशू ऑफ वोकैबुलरी की सर मेरा वोकैबुलरी वीक है. आई एम श्योर ये वर्ड्स आपको आते हैं. बिकॉज द गवर्नमेंट्स रिस्पॉन्स वाज हेस्टी, done without proper condition, without proper consideration. So done quickly or done without proper consideration. Hastily, disorganized and oblivious would be correct. All other words, students, all the other words that you have in questions, that you have in the options, are positive words. So had there been positive word, the crisis would not have deepened. Crisis or deep hua or gambhir hua because government का response was not good. So you need a negative word in this question. Negative, positive से भी आप चीजें समझ सकते हो. That's question 14. Let's move to question 15 now. Here is the next question, students. The journalist analysis is powerful because it is historically dash. So when we talk about a journalist doing an analysis on the history of things, what do you expect? That you expect him to be correct. You expect him to be well informed. So informed, exacting, and courageous are the words that form the correct pair. And again, like many of the questions, B is the correct answer. Hi, good afternoon, Path. I hope you're doing well. So, Path, Shiven, Sia, correct answers, students. Correct answer for question 15. Next one. The philosopher's argument is persuasive. So, you could say persuasive is used in a positive manner because it logically dash, conceptually dash, and stylistically dash. The philosopher's argument is persuasive because it is logically airtight. Airtight is, well confined in a robust manner. That is what airtight here means. And elegant and stylistically very clear. You need something that is clear. Lucid is a word for clear. Lucid का एक और synonym होता है, that is pellucid. Lucid, pellucid, all these words mean something that is crystal clear to everyone. And I hope all these questions, all these 16 questions have been crystal clear for you people as well. Let's move to the next question. Economic reforms. So for a change, I think yes, Parth has answered that A must be correct. Economic reforms must be sweeping and in scope, administratively efficient and politically viable, politically possible. Possible or pragmatic. So A must be the correct answer here. Let's move to question 18, students. Let's move now to question 18. So by the time I believe we are done with today's session, जब खत्म होगा, I think triple fillers में you'll have that level of confidence that I expect. ठीक है. Parth, sweeping reforms is like covering everything. Covering everything. It should have that kind of impact. That is what sweeping is. Urban resilience requires infrastructure that is कैसा infrastructure होना चाहिए? Do you think should it be a weak infrastructure or a very strong infrastructure? क्या हो सकता है? First, let's just talk about it. Infrastructure कैसा होना चाहिए? In design, environmentally, environment जहाँ पर word आ गया वहाँ पे sustainable आ गया, and socially equitable in access. So you need a strong infrastructure. So robust is the only word that means strong among all the options that we have. Among all the options that we have, yes Parth, as I said कि हम चाहते हैं economic infrastructure हमारा strong हो, environmentally sustainable हो. That brings us to the penultimate question of today's session. Penultimate is just one before the ultimate, just one before the last. So here is question number 19 for you. The policy draft was criticized. It was criticized for being dash in data usage, dangerously dash in inference, and wholly dash in its final recommendations. So what do you think about question number 19, students? Correct answer here is option B. Criticized for being selective in data usage, dangerously speculative in inference, and wholly unsound when it comes to final. अगर wholly balanced होता तो it would have not been criticized. ठीक है? Wholly reliable होता, again not possible. Tempered हो सकता था, but in the first one, second be speculative or cautious. These are similar words. इस पे टेंशन नहीं लेना है. But the first filler should be selective and not exhaustive. Selective मतलब कुछ लोगों को ही लिया है. अगर exhaustive होता, it would have covered the opinion of all the people. इसीलिए वो policy draft, it was criticized for being selective and not exhaustive. That is why we have not chosen option C. If anyone has done that, if anyone has that doubt, I hope वो doubt अब चला गया है. That's all in the past. Let's move to the last question for today's session. The scientist fieldwork is notable because it is geographically dash, analytically dash, and profoundly dash in documenting indigenous practices. So when you are documenting indigenous practices, आप tribes के बारे में कुछ document करते हो, कुछ बना रहे हो, series बना रहे हो, so you have to respect them. You have to respect them. It cannot just be like कि उनसे आप mistreatment कर रहे हो. So respectful would be a correct word. Dispersed and very meticulous, analytically meticulous. That means having that great eye for attention. So dear students, that brings us to the end of the second session in this series. As I said, I'll be here Monday to Friday 2 p.m. with 5 different topics ताकि आप उन 5 different topics से used to होना शुरू करो. So yesterday was about double fillers, today was about triple fillers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another topic. Thank you so much. Bye everyone.